Hello there. Many people believe that your achievements truly define who you are. Honestly, I used to think the same way. It might be pretty easy to rank people according to things they have accomplished. Such measures aren't difficult to compare sometimes. You have much more money than your friends, then you're more successful, and your life is better. You're happier than most people in the world, right? But is it always the case? Of course, no. Certain achievements may mean different things to different people. And even if at some point in your life your craving had no limits, you may feel disappointed when you finally get there. This topic is very interesting to discuss. And talking about craving, a lot of people mention dopamine these days. This molecule can leave a noticeable mark on your future, but actually, it's not what I'm going to talk about today. Right now, my focus is shifted towards what I consider an essential part of my life in general: planning. Why some people do seemingly have so much time. They manage to fit so many things in their day and still have enough time to relax and enjoy their lives. Is it possible to learn that craft and become one of them? You know, I think it is possible. You shouldn't really underestimate planning. It helps you set realistic expectations and complete your tasks at the right time. But the thing is, if you don't choose planning or do it the wrong way, you may face some problems, including lack of time. Your exam is tomorrow, but you still have so much stuff to learn or refreshing your memory. And somehow, your friend who had been chilling whole week scored higher than you. How is that possible? There may be many reasons, some of which you may not be aware of. Let's talk about planning fallacy. The planning fallacy means that predictions about time needed to complete your task underestimate the time you will really need. There are a lot of interesting examples of planning fallacy in real life. It may happen to everyone, even people who are responsible for big projects when massive amounts of time and money are at stake. One of the most popular examples is the Sydney Opera House. It's considered to be one of the greatest planning disasters of all time by many people. Initially, it was supposed to be finished by 1963 for $7 million, but what actually happened was that it was finished in 1973 for a dollar amount of $102 million. That's pretty bad. Cost overruns in big-scale projects are numerous. Let's look at this study. It compared the accuracy of traffic forecasts and cost estimates on large transportation projects in Denmark. The researchers concluded that cost overrun of from 50 to 100% were common for larger transportation infrastructures, and that overruns above 100% were not unusual. People were paid a lot of money to plan. How does this happen on a regular basis? There are a lot of things to consider, especially when it comes to government projects. Nevertheless, we may face similar result, namely your task not being finished in time. So it's important to think about planning fallacy. You may fall into this trap even if you know that similar tasks took more time in the past. We people aren't completely rational, so we can make similar mistakes over and over again. So you repeat that mistake being aware of your past experience, despite the fact that you remember that last time it took much more time than you're thinking of right now. But you're still sticking to your estimate. Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist and economist, who is also the author of Thinking Fast and Slow, along with his fellow worker psychologist Emma Tversky, are the people who proposed planning fallacy term. According to their research, there are two types of information that are available to the forecaster: singular and distributional. In simple words, singular data is about things that we know may be responsible for the amount of time needed to do something, and distributional concerns how long it took to complete other similar tasks. And as I said, we sometimes tend not to take into consideration how much time was spent on similar tasks in the past. and it may be the reason of your predictions failing often. This is what is called an internal approach. When it comes to our own completion times, we tend to adopt it. By the way, let's look at our example, studying for an exam. According to this study, students indicated that they finish approximately 3/4 of their projects on the same day as the deadline. To be honest, I'm glad that even when I was a little kid studying at school, I didn't stick to the same tactic. How can we counteract planning fallacy? Some people advise to break your task in smaller subtasks. You should estimate how much time each step will supposedly take, and don't be overly optimistic in your predictions. Don't think that you will be 100% productive all the time. Leave some place for mistakes. It will supposedly calibrate your expectations. Here is an example. You want to create a YouTube video. In order for your predictions to be more accurate, you can think of what this big task consists of. Firstly, finding a good topic. Secondly, doing research. Thirdly, filming the video. And fourthly, editing and publishing it. Now try to estimate how much time each one of these subtasks will take, and then find the sum. Segmentation effect means that sum of time allocated for those smaller subtasks is larger than the time allocated for a whole task. According to this study, it may reduce the possibility of planning fallacy bias, but it's not that easy to use such an approach in everyday circumstances. Past experience can play a large role in your planning, as I mentioned before. So another strategy is being more attentive to your own set of past experience or the set of others' experience. Let's apply this to our example as well. Let's suppose it's not your first video. It's Friday and you want to finish it till Monday and start working on the next one next week. You think that's enough time, but what if each one of your 3 previous videos took twice that amount? Here the planning fallacy goes. If you miss your deadline, your YouTube video planning for the next week will be ruined. Consider your previous experience and increase the time you suppose creating your new video will take. Let's recap. Planning fallacy might be the reason why you don't have enough time and don't meet your expectations. It means that predictions about time needed to complete your task underestimate the time you'll really need. It may happen to everyone, even when it comes to people who plan large and expensive projects. 2 types of information are available to you when you're trying to estimate needed time: singular and distributional. You can counteract planning fallacy by paying more attention to distributional data or by breaking your task into smaller subtasks. Subscribe and watch other videos if this one was helpful, and have a good day.